In today's video, we will explore the fundamentals of object oriented programming in Python. We will discuss class, object, constructor, method, attribute, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. By the end of this video, you will have a solid understanding of these concepts and know how to implement them using Python. Let's start with the first concept, which is class. A class is a blueprint or template used to create objects. It defines the properties and behaviors of an object. For example, think of a house plan. A house plan is only a design. Using the same design, we can build many houses. Similarly, a class is a blueprint and objects are created from it. In Python, we create a class using the class keyword. In this example, student is the class name. The class keyword is used to create a class. The past student means the class is empty for now. We are just creating the blueprint. Later, we can add attributes and methods inside this class. Now, let's understand object. An object is an instance of a class. In simple words, an object is the real thing created from a class. For example, if student is a class, then John and Blessy are object of that class. We can create multiple objects from the same class, and each object can have its own data. Here we already have a class called student. The student S1 equal to student creates an object named S1. The parenthesis call the class and create a new object. When we print S1, Python displays the memory location of the object, which confirms that the object has been created successfully. Next is the constructor. A constructor is a special method called init in Python. It is automatically called whenever we create a new object. The main purpose of the constructor is to initialize the object's data. For example, when we create a student object, we can assign the student's name and age using the constructor. Here, init is the constructor. It receives the value John when the object is created. The keyword self refers to the current object. The statement self.name equal to name stores the name inside the object. Finally, print s1.name displays the value John. Now let's learn about methods. A method is simply a function inside the class. It defines what an object can do. For example, a mobile phone can make calls, send messages, and take photos. These are its actions. Similarly, methods define the actions of an object. Here, display is a method inside the class. We first create an object named S1, then using S1.display, we call the method. The output is welcome. Next is attribute. An attribute is a variable that stores information about an object. For example, a student has a name, roll number, and age. These are called attributes because they describe the student. Here, name is an attribute. Inside the constructor, we assign the value John to self.name. When we print s1.name, the output is John. Now, let's discuss encapsulation. Encapsulation means combining data and methods into a single class. It also protects the data from being accessed directly. A simple real life example is a medicine capsule. The medicine is safety enclosed inside the capsule. Similarly, in programming, important data is protected inside the class. Here, marks is a private attribute because it starts with two underscores. It cannot be accessed directly from outside the class. Instead, we use the show method to display the marks. This is called encapsulation because the data is protected inside the class. Next, inheritance. Inheritance allows one class to use the properties and methods of another class. The existing class is called the parent class and the new class is called the child class. A simple example is a child inheriting qualities from the parents. Inheritance helps us reuse code and reduces duplication. Here, animal is the parent class, dog is the child class. Since dog inherits from animal, it can use the sound method without writing it again. When we call d.sound, the output is animal sound. Now let's understand polymorphism. Polymorphism means many forms. It allows the same method name to behave differently for different object. For example, both the dog and the cat can make a sound, but the dog sound is bark and the cat sound is meow. The method name is the same, but the output is different. Here, both the dog class and the cat class have a method named sound. However, each method produces a different output. When we call dog.sound, the output is bark. When we call cat.sound, the output is meow. This is called polymorphism because the same method name behaves differently. Finally, let's learn about abstraction. Abstraction means hiding unnecessary details and showing only the important features. For example, when we drive a car, we use the steering wheel, brake, and accelerator. We don't have to know how the engine works internally. Similarly, abstraction hides the internal implementation and provides only the necessary functionality to the user. Here we import ABC and abstract method from the ABC module. Shape is an abstract class. The area method is declared as an abstract method, so it has no implementation. Any class that inherits from shape must provide its own implementation of the area method. This is the abstraction because the abstract class defines what should be done, while the child class defines how it should be done. Congratulations! Now you have learned the basic concepts of object oriented programming in Python, including class, object, constructor, method, attribute, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. I hope you learned something new from this video and found it easy to understand.